you feel that we should or we could walk away with, not just as Americans, not just as citizens of this country, but as global citizens? What is the iconic mark in our humanity that we take forward with that message? What do you think?
Well, for me, this is the one thing that I said, or it's been resonating for me, is that this is a moment in history, in American history, where you have an example of great inspiration of what you can do when you believe. And if you believe in something, you can go after it, and you can accomplish it, no matter what obstacles you've gone through. And I think in a conversation with you, I was talking about how Barack is, he's an example for us, even though we have had some obstacles in our lives and as minorities and so on and so forth. There are things that we've experienced that I'm sure he's experienced, but the thing is that he's accomplished a goal that no one thought was possible in American history. Some did, but a lot didn't think it was possible, but he did it. And the one thing that I wanted to just put forth in everybody's mind is to keep this momentum going, because people in general, I'm not just saying Americans, but people in general, they tend to be in a moment and then forget. But I don't want people to ever to forget what we as a unity has accomplished. What we've accomplished was something amazing that the whole world was watching at this time, because I don't think people in the world believed that this was going to be possible, but it did happen. So I don't want us to forget this, but I want us to realize and to embrace what it is that we've accomplished as American citizens in this country, because we stood up for what we knew was right. We stood up for change, regardless of what the color of a person's skin is. We stood up for integrity, and we have to continue to do that in everything that we do. And I was saying how we have to mentor other people, each one teach one. I love
that idea.
Yeah.
Each one teach one.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So I just believe that that's what we can really take from this and embrace that, and just pass the legacy, because you have a legacy, what you've accomplished, pass that on to other people, because people look at you and they're saying, wow, what an inspiration. You've been an inspiration for me as a minority woman, and I look at you every day as I come in the office and I'm like, what an inspiration that she's accomplished this, what she's accomplished. So it's in the small little points that I get from you, and then here's this huge thing that Barack Obama has accomplished. So it's kind of like, this resonates for me every day. So just pass that legacy on that you have, and I just think that that's what people can honestly get from this experience.
Yeah. Great, Stacey. What about you, Alvin?
Well, kind of what I took from the speech and this whole process was that we as people, citizens of this world, we shouldn't be afraid to reach our own potential. It's very hard sometimes. You got to be very disciplined, dedicated, and we saw that in what this man accomplished. It's not the easiest thing to say I'm going to run for president. It's not the easiest thing to say I'm going to be the first black man to give it a solid shot and to actually see it through. He had to be very disciplined along the way. He had to be very in charge of who he was and know who he was as a person. And we saw that. He exuded the most confidence, most professionalism when some of the worst things were put in front of his face.
He didn't react.
He didn't react. He wasn't afraid to reach his own potential. He said to himself, I can do this my way. I can do this the way it's supposed to be. And that's what I took from his message. That's what we as people have to be able to do. We have to not be afraid to reach our own potential and do what's right. And if that means going the extra mile and serving your country or serving your family, your friends, whatever, just, do it. If this man can do it for all of us, if this man can do it to prove a point to all of us, why shouldn't we do it to ourselves? Why shouldn't we show it to ourselves and prove it to ourselves?
Love ourselves enough to do it. What's interesting about Obama is, before Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, everyone said it wasn't possible. After the 4-minute mile was broken, it was broken many times after, in quick succession. And we were touching on the subject, the way, I was thinking is, well, if this is possible, not just because he's African American, but because he was a junior senator. He wasn't even known to us 5 years ago, but he had an intention. He had an intention, and and intention around integrity, and to be a voice, you know, that he felt it was time for, and obviously collectively I think we did too. So, you know, what we touched on was what that is possible for all of us.
Absolutely.
What's possible for me? What have I not seen for myself? What horizon have I looked at and thought, oh, I can't go down there, or I shouldn't go down there? No, you know, and obviously I'm speaking of myself, but I'm speaking of us all collectively. And I think that's what his inauguration speech, President Obama's inauguration speech was about. It was about, I dare you to ask yourself the question, where do you want to go? How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself not just in the fabric of your own community and your family or your friends, but how do you see yourself in the fabric of America and America's place in the world? So in closing, first of all, thank you, Alvin Dodson. And thank you, Stacey. I loved your closing comment the other day when we were talking, and you said, Rosa sat so King could walk. King walked so Obama could run. What was the last line?
Obama ran so that we can fly.
So, and I also think I sort of have tagged the second line for myself, where he says, "Yes, we can" as the campaign slogan. I also think yes, we should.
Yeah.
It's time for that.
That's
yes, we should.
Good.
So thank you both.